We always talk about the gorgeous coffees coming out of Ethiopia or Guatemala or Brazil, but we rarely talk about the coffees grown locally right here in Australia. This is mostly because it's rubbish tasting and it's not high quality coffee at all. I'm sorry Australia, you've got to lift your game. I mean, we have a great international reputation for growing fantastic wines, and we have one of the best reputations worldwide for roasting the coffee. And interestingly, the top half of our country is perfectly positioned within what we call the coffee belt, which is perfect and ideal conditions for growing specialty coffee. So, why aren't we producing more coffee? Well, I recently found out about a little coffee farm in Nimbinto. No, not that sort of farm, but a real specialty coffee farm. I'm Ryd from Coffee Beans Delivered, and today we're going to go visit Mountaintop Coffee Farm and chat to them about what it's like to run a specialty coffee farm here in Australia. Thanks for Jason. He's the manager of the coffee farm and the mill, and he's here today to tell us a bit about the farm. So tell us about how it was created, when it was started, and why it was started here.
So the farm was started roughly late 90s when they first planted the first lot of trees. I think they picked this area mainly because of the soil. Yeah. It's a nice agriculture area up here. It's elevated. They sort of decided this would be a nice little microclimate. Tropical, good rainfall. So basically they chose this site, started off with a few trees, and then just expanded over the years.
How many trees do you have now?
Roughly 80,000.
Wow. So tell us about the variety.
So it's a K7 variety, which comes out of Kenya. They chose that variety, like they did trials on different varieties at the time, and they found that the K7 performed the best in this climate. It was fast growing. So, obviously you get your crop off quicker than anything else.
So, how do the native animals or the animals in the area interact with the farm? How does that affect you guys?
Okay, so we just have the natural wildlife that transients through the farm, like wallabies, the odd snake here and there, plenty of birds, and the one that's really annoyed us in the our last harvest, a little bit the harvest before, but particularly our last harvest, was fruit bats. Yeah. So they've discovered that they like the taste of the cherry, and so they've decided that they're going to come in and pretty much cost us over half our crop from the harvest. So didn't eat the bean, but like the cherry, dropped the bean onto the ground. So
yeah, I reckon there's a thing there for fruit bat digested coffee beans. I think there's a market there, certainly in the future, if you can't get on top of the pests.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cost you, how many tonnes did you do normally, and then how much did you lose in the harvest? From
estimates, we're looking at 20 tonne harvested this year. We ended up with 8, so it's cost us.
That's a lot.
I'm not going to say the fruit bat attributed 100% of that, but probably the dry weather, the sort of unusual seasons that we had, with ripening early and then a cooler sort of spring, sort of delayed ripening again. So I won't say it cost us 100%, but it's cost us 12 tonne, pretty much.
That's
all up.
A lot.
So,
It's a lot. Yeah. So do you see a growth in the near future for Australian coffee, in the coffee industry?
Oh, that's a fairly difficult one to answer. I think as the Australian coffee culture becomes more educated, that would be great, because people then realise that, hey, we've got this spectacular product
right
here, and people hopefully are prepared to pay a little bit of a premium for it.
Yeah.
So if that happens, there is opportunity there for a growth in the Australian coffee industry. Who knows in the future with all climate change and whether that affects coffee growing overseas in those areas. There could be opportunities.
All right, well, thank you very much. That's Jason here from Mountaintop Coffee. And thanks very much for talking
No
to
worries.
us
No,
today.
thanks
a lot.
for
See you.
coming. Yeah.
So there you go. Some insight into what a specialty coffee farm looks like in Australia. And I have to say, it was an amazing experience, and I can't wait to go back in September when they do the harvesting and the milling of all the coffee beans. So stay tuned. I'm Ryd from Coffee Beans Delivered. Enjoy your brew.